The village was eerily silent. The only sound that echoed through the air was the distant murmur of the wind, carrying with it the scent of dust and despair. Ibrahim Traoré, the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, sat in the war room, his face stern, eyes heavy with the weight of the country's survival. His fingers gripped the map in front of him, each marked with red circles, symbols of danger. But there was a glint in his eyes, a quiet confidence. "You've seen it all." He spoke to his commanders, his voice low but resolute. "But you've never seen what we're about to unleash. The enemy doesn't know this weapon, but they will soon." His words hung in the air like an unspoken challenge. Weight of those words was clear. They were about to unveil a force the enemy could never anticipate, force that would turn the tide of the war. A force born not of steel or fire, but of resilience, courage, and an unwavering commitment to freedom. Command room felt smaller as the eyes of the generals turned toward Traoré, waiting for him to reveal what he meant. With each passing second, the tension grew. The battle had been long, and the insurgents had left a trail of devastation in their wake. But this time, the enemy was going to face something completely different. This time, Burkina Faso had something to fight with that they never had before. The strength and spirit of its women, in a hidden, undisclosed location. A different kind of force was being prepared. They were not soldiers, not mercenaries, they were warriors. Women who had long been underestimated. These women had trained in the harshest conditions, enduring grueling hours of combat drills, mental conditioning, and endurance tests. They were more than fighters, they were symbols of resilience, a rebellion against both internal and external oppression. Amara, a former teacher turned commander, stood among them, her face hardened by years of struggle, yet still her eyes reflected the unbreakable resolve that had been forged within her. Every step she took carried the weight of the burden she'd bore her people, her country, and the promise to never let them fall again. She had been through hell and back, and now she was prepared to lead her sisters into the heart of the battlefield. They had trained in the shadows, in secret, unknown to the world, but now the time had come to bring them to the forefront. As the enemy forces encroached upon their borders, it was these women who would stand between the invaders and the people they had sworn to protect. The moment she met Traoré in the war room, her words held the weight of 100 lifetimes. "Do you trust us?" she asked, her voice calm, yet tinged with the vulnerability that came from knowing the cost of the mission ahead. "I trust you more than anyone I've ever known," Traoré replied, his gaze unwavering. "It's time the world saw what you're capable of." The battle was already underway when Traoré's words came to life. The first attack came from the north, a series of well-coordinated raids that sent ripples of panic throughout the country. The army, though strong, was struggling to keep up. But in the midst of the chaos, the female commandos were waiting, hidden in the shadows, their movements calculated, their resolve unbreakable. The sound of their boots against the earth was the only sign of their presence. The enemy had no idea what was coming. As the first wave of insurgents approached, the female commandos struck with precision and power. They had spent years training for moments like this, honing their skills, sharpening their minds. Theirs was a battle for survival, but it was also a battle for something far greater, the future of Burkina Faso. Amara led them, her steps quiet but forceful. The weight of their mission pressed upon her, but it was a weight she was willing to bear. As the first insurgent fell, it was a signal to the others, a signal that this was no ordinary battle. This was their fight, their war, their victory to claim. In the heat of the battle, something unexpected happened. An insider, someone trusted by Traoré, had been leaking intelligence to the enemy. This betrayal threatened everything. The female commandos had taken down the first wave, but now they faced an enemy that was better prepared, more aware of their movements. The intensity of the battle grew as the days wore on. Amara, ever vigilant, had long suspected that there was a traitor. Among their ranks, the signs were there, subtle but undeniable. When she finally uncovered the truth, it was not just a betrayal of the military, but of everything they stood for. The traitor, high-ranking official who had been Traoré's confidant, was revealed to be working with the insurgents. His betrayal ran deeper than anyone could have imagined, and the damage it had caused was immeasurable. Yet, even in the face of this crisis, Amara remained calm. She was not just a leader. She was a symbol of defiance. And in this moment, she knew that their mission could not falter. They had already come too far to turn back. The enemy had underestimated them once, but they would not make that mistake again. The battle reached its climax one fateful evening, as the female commandos launched a final assault. The traitor had attempted to flee, but Amara had anticipated his every move. With a swift and powerful blow, she ended the man's treachery, taking him down in front of the very forces he had betrayed. "What you didn't understand," Amara whispered to the fallen man, "is that we're not here to die. We're here to live in to protect those who will come after us." The tide of the battle shifted with that single act. The insurgents, thrown into disarray by the loss of their inside information, faltered. The female commandos moved like a single unit, their movements fluid and seamless. Together, they brought the enemy to its knees, turning what seemed like certain defeat into a triumphant victory. As the dust settled, the country stood on the brink of something new. The enemy had been pushed back, their forces decimated by the unyielding force of the female commandos. But it wasn't just the insurgents who had been defeated. It was the idea that women, like these commandos, had no place in the heart of battle. Traoré stood with Amara, his eyes full of pride. The world would now see what he had known all along, that these women were not just warriors, they were the future. And the future of Burkina Faso had just been secured. "You've shown the world the strength of Burkina Faso," Traoré said, his voice filled with reverence. "You've shown them what it means to be unyielding. You are the future." Amara nodded, her gaze softening. "We fight because we must. But we also fight because we know that there is something worth protecting: our people, our country." The screen faded to black, and as the credits rolled, the quiet whispers of hope filled the air. Burkina Faso, once again, stood tall. Call to action. If this story touched your heart, consider subscribing for more inspiring tales of courage, hope, and the unstoppable will to protect what matters. Hit the like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it today.